Let's review topic 15. When I look at number 1, it's asking me to find the area and the perimeter of this rectangle. The area formula is length times width. So I know to do 7 times 2. I'd click in the text box, colored text box, and I would type in 14, and it would be square millimeters. The perimeter, the formula I know is to add all 4 of the sides. So I would 7 plus 2 plus 2. 7 and 7 gets me to 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. My perimeter should be 18 millimeters. In number 2, again, the area formula, length times width. 3 times 4 should give me 12. It will be square millimeters. I click in the text box. In the perimeter, I'm going to add the 4 sides. 4 plus 4 gives me 8. 3 plus 3 gives me 6. And 8 plus 6 would give me 14. Number 3, again, area, length times the width. I'm doing 5 times 2 would be 10 square millimeters, or millimeters squared. And then the perimeter again, I'm adding all 4 of the sides. 5 and 5 would give me 10. 2 and 2 would give me 4. 10 plus 4 would give me 14 millimeters. Now, one of those detective ones where you have to figure out the length of the side based on the perimeter. I know if I add up all the way around the outside, I'm going to get 28. I know the top is 10, the bottom is 10. So 10 and 10 gets me 20. I have to get 8 more to get the perimeter. So 10, 10, and not 8 and 8, but I need to split that extra 8 in half. 10, 10, this side must be 4, and this side must be 4, so that I can get to 28. So I'm going to type 4 and 4, x, or the length, or width, is 4. 10 plus 10 is 20, 4 plus 4 is 8, and 20 plus 4 plus 4 would give me the 28 I need. So the missing side, if we're being a detective, should be 4. Moving on to Mrs. Jennings, needed to put a fence around her backyard. The width of her yard is 23 feet and the length is 24 feet. What is the perimeter of her yard? I am supposed to be adding up all 4 sides. So I know the one side is 23, so that means this side is 23, this side must be 23. And if the length or top is 24, I know the bottom should also be 24. So then I'm supposed to be adding up all of the sides. So I can either add 23 and 23, and then add 24 and 24, and then add those, or I can just add 23 plus 23 plus 24 plus 24, because I'm trying to go the whole way around the outside to find perimeter. So I think I'm just going to stack them all up and add, and when I do that, I am getting 94. So I'm going to type in the colored text box 94 feet. Next, I'm looking at this blue rectangle and I'm supposed to be finding the area and the perimeter. Note here, area again, I'm multiplying the length times the width. So I'm doing 3 times 7. I'm getting 21 square feet, or not feet this time, looks like this time it's inches. I can make this text box bigger if I need to. 21 square inches. Now for my perimeter. Perimeter, I wrote a note again. We were supposed to be adding the entire outside. I know the top is 10, the bottom is 10. The side is 3, the other side must be 3. So I'm adding 7 plus 7 equals 14, 3 plus 3 equals 6, and I should be getting that the perimeter is 20 inches. When I move on to the line plot, how tall is the tallest plant? The tallest plant, this is 5 inches, this is 7 inches. We do have one plant that is 7 inches. The tallest plant is 7 inches. What height appears most often on the graph? A lot of people confuse the tallest or the most with the most common. The most common amount or the most plants were 6 3/4 inches because it has the most X's. So this should be 6 3/4 inches. That's the height that appears most often. Again, if you need to adjust the size of the text box, you could. Now 3, how many more plants are 6 3/4 inches tall than 5 1/2 inches tall? So I actually have to count the X's at 6 3/4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the X's at 5 1/2. 1, 2. I know that there are 3 more at 6 3/4 than there are at 5 1/2. And I mean, if you didn't want to subtract, you can actually look. I see 5 1/2 just has 2. 6 3/4, here's those 2, and here's the extra 3. It has 3 more at 6 3/4. And then how many plants are taller than 6 inches? So we actually have to count all the X's that are above 6 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There are 14 plants that are taller than 6 inches. Now we're using the line plot to answer the next questions. Student pets. How many students were asked about their pets? So this is just counting the X's. If I go along and count the X's, this is just how many people. 5 with a cat, 6 with a dog, and 3 with a different kind of pet. If I count all of those X's up, I'm getting 17. 17 X's, 17 kids were asked. How many more children have a pet than no pets at all? Now, I know 3 people have none. How many people have a pet then? So these 3 have none. How many people have a pet? If I count all of the people who have a pet, cat, dog, or other, I should be getting 14 people have a pet. There are 3 people who don't have a pet at all. If I do 14 minus 3, I should be getting 11. And I could be writing and making this text box a little bigger. I could write 11 more. 11 more have a pet than have no pets at all. Then I'm moving on to Tom was selling boxes of chocolate candy for his school's fundraiser. He plotted the number of boxes he sold in the line plot below. Use the line plot to answer the questions. How many boxes did he sell on day 8? So day 8, I literally need to count the X's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Did he sell more boxes on day 7 or day 2? Here's day 7 and here's day 2. We can clearly see on day 7 he sold more. Did he sell fewer boxes on day 9 or day 6? So we're looking for less because fewer means less. Did he sell fewer boxes on day 9 or day 6? Day 9 is less or fewer, so day 9. How many boxes did he sell? How many days did he sell more than 3 boxes? So we're going to count how many days on here are more than 3. 1, this is 3, so it doesn't count. 2, 3, no, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There were 8 out of the 10 days where he sold more than 3 boxes. So out of the 10 days, there were only these 2 where he only sold 3 or less. He sold more than 3 on those other 8 days. He sold the greatest amount of boxes on what day? We could see day 6 is the tallest. What is the difference between the boxes sold on day 7 and 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 on day 7. And day 5 looks like it's only 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 minus 1 should give me 10. What was the most amount of boxes sold in a day? Well, it's not the most common amount sold. It's what's the most amount of boxes he had sold in a day. and the most amount of boxes he sold in a day at some point. The most amount of boxes he sold in a day. I need to count the X's. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On day 10, no. The most amount of boxes he sold in a day, if each X represents a box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 boxes on day 6. So the most amount of boxes sold in a day was 12 boxes on day 6. Conversions. 6 days. I have to know that there are 24 hours in one day. So how many hours would be in 6 days? I need to do 6 times 24, or I could add 24 6 times and get 144 hours. 5 decades. I know we've talked about that. A decade is 10 years. So 5 decades, 5 times 10 would be 50 years. 3 centuries, how many years? Well, a century is 100 years. So 3 centuries is 300 years. 36 months. I know that there are 12 months in a year. So 36 months, I know I need to do 36 divided by 12. 12 plus 12 plus 12 equals 36, or 36 divided by 12 would give me 3 years.